Totes Recall.
Ooh, welcome to Totes Recall, the podcast where we talk about a movie we can't remember very well, then push pause on the recording, watch the movie in question while eating 2 pizzas and 2 salads. Thank you, patrons. Come back for a second half of the show and talk again about the very same movie we talked about in the first half, now with a very fresh memory on it since we just watched it. Find out what we got right and wrong. How did our memories hold up? What does it look like in this day and age on the burning eye of current year? Etc., etc. My name is Dan.
This is Molly.
I'm also Dan.
And I'm Beth.
And our movie this very special episode is...
What?
Wait, what's so special about it?
Thank you.
I mumbled the intro poorly.
So special.
So
special.
special. It's March. And March means birds.
Oh.
They're coming back, specifically the Pelicans. The
Oh.
Pelican Brief is the movie.
Oh,
what
I did
a
not
journey.
know where that was going.
Oh, I am excited.
Starring Denzel Washington,
Okay.
Julia Roberts,
Okay.
and others.
Oh, wow. This is like a hot cast.
A movie based on a John Grisham novel.
Yeah, a Grish. Have
And
we
we-
watched a Grish?
I don't believe so.
This is the first one.
This is the first Grish.
Yeah. And this was delayed, and I apologize, listeners who are big John Grisham fans.
Yep.
This was delayed somewhat because I went through a John Grisham phase where I watched all of them. Fortunately, as you know, I have a very short memory.
Yeah.
And all I generally remember is that the Pelican Brief was, in my mind, the best one.
Okay.
Oh.
That's exciting.
Other than this one and The Firm, what other Grisham movies are there?
Oh, there's The Rainmaker.
Oh.
The jury something? There's a jury one?
Yeah.
Is that Runaway Jury?
Maybe.
All I know is I recently saw The Firm, and after that was done, Runaway Jury started playing.
Oh,
Whoa.
wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. You know, The Firm as a book is really terrible, but
Okay.
the idea is good. But that's what started him on this path as they turned it into a screenplay.
So the firm was like, that's what propelled the Grisham snowball effect of the 90s.
That's what I
think it was the 90s.
You know
Ooh,
what?
boy.
I think this is the
So
90s.
90s, like 88, 89 through the 90s.
Okay.
I'm going to say Pelican Brief, the movie that we're watching, is 93.
Wow.
I'm going to say 89.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to also say 93. That feels like a good year for this to have happened.
Yeah.
I'll say 93.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, get on board.
Is everyone just getting... Okay, in that case,
Nope.
I call
Nope.
the decade
Nope.
of the 90s.
You did say it was a 90s movie and then immediately said 1988.
Yeah, you did.
I didn't know. I said 89.
89.
So, okay. All right.
Okay.
I'll just live with it.
Who's seen this movie?
I'm pretty sure I've seen it. But
I've seen
probably
it.
I caught it on cable.
Sure.
And so no guarantee I've seen the whole thing.
I've seen this so many times in bits and pieces. I'm sure I saw it in the theater when it first came out. And then for sure I've seen it on cable.
I don't think I've seen it. Here's the thing. Any movie from this era in which Denzel Washington is at some point perhaps wearing a suit,
Yeah.
I don't know which of those movies I have seen, or if I only have memories of commercials for all of them.
Sure.
You know what I
Totally
mean?
fair,
Like the
yeah.
only Denzel Washington movie from that era that I know I've seen is Training Day, and I know that because he's not wearing a suit.
No, he's not. That's late 90s. That might be early 2000s.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll write it down.
Okay.
I've never seen it. And honestly, the only thing I really know about it is it was like a reference in The Office, in an episode of The Office. They
Okay.
mentioned the Pelican Brief or some show like that.
Oh, really?
I don't know. That's the only reason I have ever.
Do you want to take
Heard
a
of
swing
it.
at what the titular Pelican Brief
I mean,
is?
should we do it in a Union Strong
Sure.
praise President Xi Jinping, communism forever?
Wow.
Totes
It's
Recall.
evolved.
That is really expanded. Sure. I don't have a timer, though.
I mean,
There's one right there.
There
Who's
Great.
doing it?
Me.
Just- oh.
And Beth,
And Beth.
Okay.
because I haven't seen it, I don't think.
All right. All time.
Thank you.
Ready?
Yes.
Set.
Yes.
Go.
We open on Virginia, the state,
Wow.
somewhere in
Wow.
it. There's a lawyer.
Denzel Washington is a lawyer?
Yes, he's coming out of the courthouse and he's hot-shotting it. He's peacocking because he's the best.
Yeah, and everything is going well except for he gets handed the Pelican Brief.
Oh, he opens it and he makes a furrowed brow expression, and then Julie Roberts
seconds.
is like, "Please help me with this Pelican Brief. You're the best lawyer in the biz, but also don't tell anyone because it's dangerous to know you're part of the brief."
She's the client?
Oh,
Okay.
sure. Let's say yes. Julia Roberts is the client. She's trying to blow the case wide open, but
Because she works
10
for a
seconds.
company that's doing bad
nefarious
things.
interests want to shut her up, but Denzel's like, "No, we'll do it. We'll bring it to the law."
And then he's good at being a lawyer.
Time.
Wow.
I think we crushed it.
You
Yeah.
crushed 100% Utah.
Thank you so much.
I don't remember a ton more. I believe the Pelican Brief.
Done more
Does that mean
than-
that we nailed it?
100% Utah.
Great.
I believe the Pelican Brief is like a report that
I think you shouldn't say,
Wait, what?
because it is a big reveal within the movie.
Whenever Beth hasn't seen a movie and you have, every single time she makes a guess even close, you just tell her explicitly what is correct.
Oh.
Why are you suddenly?
Well, I just feel like in this case,
Because you
it's
actually like the movie.
I do, and I think it's a pretty big plot point.
is it?
That-
Space aliens? It's space aliens.
Okay, fine. I won't reveal what I have to a quarter remember what the Pelican Brief
Is it about pelicans?
Can I bet instead of guess? Because I don't.
Yeah,
Yeah, sure, you can bet.
Julia
Okay.
Roberts works for Pelican Corp, which is
Oh.
a devious
Publisher.
chemical corporation that is dumping
Yeah.
paper manufacturing waste into the Potomac,
which
and
is then being scooped up by pelicans.
yes,
Yes.
and children who
Oh
then
my
get
gosh.
cancer or
Yeah.
something.
I think close to that.
Nice.
I think it's about like seabirds are dying because
Whoa.
corporation is polluting.
Just corporation.
Oh, I shouldn't have worried about you making bets.
Yeah. No,
Okay,
like I
again,
said, I
you're-
have to a quarter remembered it. And apparently that's wrong.
Yeah, we just gave the game away.
I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know.
The wetlands are in danger.
Do we think Denzel Washington and Julia Roberts are on a path to smooching, or are they just professionals?
Oh, I mean, I would hope that they would smooch
Okay, why?
because they're a couple attractive
Okay,
people.
just for
in
Hollywood
a movie,
reasons?
and I want to watch them smooch.
Got it.
But my wife said this was not a very horny movie,
Okay.
Oh,
and so I doubt it.
I mean, Grisham doesn't strike me as a very horny writer to begin with. Right?
before you walk out the door, does your wife let you know whether or not the movie
How
we're about
horny
to
the
watch is
No,
horny?
it's not common.
I love that. I wish that was it every time.
we
Doing the
were,
horny check-in.
I mean,
Real quick, how horny is this one?
peek behind my curtain. We were joking about how we're going to get rich on this podcast because it's going to be the fourth wing of podcasts, and we should start doing the romantasy version of podcasting. And we're-
Fourth wing of podcast?
Yeah,
You
Molly
don't know
knows
about
what I'm
this
talking
book?
about.
I do.
It's
Are you going to explain it to me, or
I can
Okay,
if
it
you'd like.
is-
wait, are you going to explain it to me, or is Molly going to explain it to me?
I read it before Molly.
Okay.
Did, and I borrowed your book. But here, I want to say this. I have a fact. Haha. It sold 2.7 million copies.
it's sold.
No, that is
know
a
what
big
it's
deal.
about.
It's
Are you
about
talking about the fourth wing or Onyx Storm, the
Onyx
fastest
Storm.
selling adult novel ever?
What is
Yes.
happening?
Okay, there is a trilogy.
I don't care. What is the
This is
fourth
the
wing?
trilogy. It's the first in the series
I
called
think there's
Fourth
more
Wing.
than 3 books planned, Molly.
I know. Yeah, it seemed like it was going to be a trilogy, and now it's not. I think it's going to go on forever. But it is Dragon, Military School, dragons have sex with each other,
Okay.
and cadets have sex with each other.
And
And it is HOT.
how is that us?
So
It's best-selling.
it's going to be us. Once we infuse more horniness into the podcast,
Yes.
then we will get rich.
Your wife is saying we should
I
take
see.
the lesson from the Onyx Storm
Yeah.
Okay.
and inject more horniness
and
into
so
the
she was saying this is not a good movie to
for
pick
the plan.
for the business
Got it,
plan
Got
of
it.
Okay.
being the
Fourth.
fourth wing, the Empyrean cycle of podcasts.
Oh no! So now we have to watch that one with Nicole Kidman and Tom Cruise.
Oh yes, say no faces.
Yeah, the
forward,
mask
shut the
one.
door. I have a mask on.
Jesus.
What's that one called?
Eyes Wide Shut.
There you go.
I just read the Wikipedia summary of that movie for reasons I don't remember why. And I remember thinking when it came out, I'm just like, I feel like people said this was bad, but I was also a child, so who knows? And then when I read it, I'm just like, oh, this just sounds boring.
I don't
Maybe
remember
it was
loving
just boring.
it. Yeah. And I probably watched it as like a teen.
Yeah, because it was horny.
Yeah, but it wasn't as much as you'd hope.
No, it's
Right.
more of like a legal thriller.
Yeah, like John
Really?
Grisham might write.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, all his thrillers are legal related.
Eyes Wide Shut?
Oh, no, definitely not. I
Weren't listening or
wasn't
paying
paying
attention.
any
You were thinking about dragons.
I was.
Yeah.
It is spicy.
It is spicy.
Those
Okay.
dragons are horny.
Some of them, yes.
Yeah.
Some of them are noble, sexless creatures who help save Scotland or whatever, depending on what story you're consuming.
Yeah.
Well, none of them went to this military
and
school.
they evolved from birds, as we all know.
Dragons?
Yes, pelicans being birds as well.
They're like today's dragons.
Pelicans?
Yeah.
Pelicans are the dragons. Of
Are they
today.
horny birds? Are they notoriously horny?
That I don't know, but I did see a pelican once in the wild in Mexico
And?
scoop up a fish,
Nice.
and it
Nice.
was fucking cool.
It's
Yeah.
so
And then
weird.
It
like,
is weird.
You know, drinks down the fish.
It's
like,
so
"Go,
fucking
go,
weird.
go."
Or like when they do that weird thing where they like put their head back with their mouth open and like the membrane on the bottom of their beak just like pokes up
Yeah,
from their bones. They're weird.
it was rad. Anyway, I think this movie takes place in New Orleans
Okay.
solely because the Pelicans are New Orleans NBA team.
Oh, are you serious?
I love this.
I am serious.
I think you guessed correctly for a weird reason, though.
Yeah,
Is
and it feels like a sweaty movie.
Oh, it is so
Okay.
sweaty.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
there's
like,
a lot of sweat.
I see.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
is
it's
this going to be like, oh, it's so hot in
I
here?
do declare.
like a
There's
lot
no-
of fans going,
Wait,
you
are
know,
we
rotating
Yeah.
fans.
Are you saying there's a chance that this is going to be like a cool, like gruff Cajun character actor who deals with Denzel at some point?
Ooh, we can dream.
That sounds
sounds-
amazing.
Yeah, it sounds fun.
Like
Is
where
this-
he's just like, tell me about the Pelicans. And he's just like, oh, I do say, Mr. Denzel, I surely can't tell you about this brief. Oh, yeah.
Probably speaks a little French too.
So is this like a Southern? Oh no, don't even start.
No,
Is this a
it's
Southern
a
lawyer
different
movie?
Well, all Grisham movies are Southern lawyer
Oh,
movies.
really?
Oh,
That's his
okay.
thing?
Yeah,
yeah.
Oh, okay.
he's a Southern lawyer.
I don't know anything about him.
Well, this is all you really need to know.
Okay. Southern lawyer.
You know, they're all legal dramas.
I know
in
that.
some way, yeah. But I
Except
feel
for
like-
we've established this Christmas with the Cranks.
He wrote that?
Yeah.
Amazing.
I think someone's a journalist
Nice.
and they're revealing the Pelican Brief, but then the people who don't want to reveal it are trying to murder them.
Okay. So are we saying Jay Robbs is a journalist?
That-
Journalist Roberts?
That feels right.
Julie.
Or maybe
Ernest
she's got the
Roberts.
brief. And
She's
wants
got the brief.
She's got the brief and she wants to expose the brief to Denzel.
Uh-huh. So Denzel's a journalist.
You're trying to make that sound spicy.
I am. Thank you for noticing.
She wants to show Denzel her brief.
yeah.
Oh
Once
boy.
yeah, not accurate, but fun.
That's,
Are there
that's
any
my
other characters in
motto.
this movie?
Yeah.
So
Gotta
many.
be.
There's some other famous people I can't think of right now.
There's got to be a bad guy, like a bad white guy in a suit.
James Woods.
That's a great guess.
Tommy Lee Jones.
Or that other guy who's now like old and in Hacks, but he was like the bad guy in all the 90s movies.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
He's so good at that.
He's great. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
I don't remember his name, though.
Nope.
He's the casino owner in Hacks.
Yeah.
Casino
Yeah.
owner in Hacks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. What's that guy's name?
I could see him being in this as
Yeah.
like a slimy
Yeah.
corporate man
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yep.
Yep.
So is this one of those movies where like at some point Denzel, here's a bet. Denzel will be in his office. It's nighttime. There'll be a loud noise outside. He goes to check and looks down the dark, misty alley and there's nobody there. Or
something on
the
his doorstep.
silhouette of somebody running away.
Oh, yeah. This feels like he's got noir energy.
Is he gonna have to chase someone down the street?
I hope so.
Is there some running in this movie?
Oh,
Is
there's
he,
always
is he a
running
known
in
runner? Is that his deal too back in the day?
He's a good runner.
I feel like he was more of like a up in your facer.
I mean,
than
he
a
can do
runner,
it
right?
all.
He can do it all. Listen,
My wife.
I'm told.
Is that from this?
No,
No.
I'm
Oh.
sorry, it's not. Can I
Oh,
just,
is that
as
American
an
Gangster?
aside, can I just say,
Yes,
I
think so.
recently went
They
to go.
tried to kill my wife. I can't remember what that's from.
I went to go buy tickets somewhere. I forget where. And oh no, it wasn't. Peek behind curtain. It was.
Should we start over?
Okay, yeah. Let's start over.
Okay.
I was checking in for a colonoscopy.
Nice.
Wow.
Your brain first thought of it as getting tickets or something?
I know.
Wow. 2 for colonoscopy, please.
Greatest show on earth.
And the relation, anyway, spouse came up and,
Yes.
I said, my wife or whatever. The words my wife came up.
Okay.
And the person checking us in said, my wife. And I got so excited. And she's like, sorry, it's in a podcast that I listened to. And I was like, oh, is it Totes Recall by any chance? And she's
Did you really?
I did. And she was like, no, I've not heard of that one. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, anyway.
Is it Comedy Bang Bang?
Probably.
No, it really wasn't. It was I wrote it down somewhere. It's like a darker murdery one. It's like a true crime. But anyway, the host says my wife sometimes.
They all are.
One time I went to a show and Scott Aukerman, who's the host of Comedy Bang Bang, was in the show. And afterward, I went up to him and talked to, because they did like a little meet and greet.
Yeah.
And his wife, Kulop, was there. And he pointed.
Local reference.
Yep. Kulop Valisok. And she, she's from Minnesota, if you didn't know. So he points at her and says, my wife is from around here. And I said, my wife, because he said it
100,000
million times on that podcast. And he said, yeah, I don't really say that anymore.
Oh, Scotty Ox.
I'm like, you liar, you still say it to this day. That was like 10 years ago.
It was probably mostly just like a bit. And also like, please don't make me do this the next 10 minutes.
I'm sure. But also, like, he said my wife.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
This is your bed. You made it.
Yeah.
Sleep in it, Scott.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then he was very kind
That's
afterward.
what I'm saying. I feel like you might be putting a level of malice that was not intended.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm sure people say that to him just with no reference at all the time. But
I mean, I'm sure most of it was just like, please let this not be a conversation for the next 10 minutes of just us saying my wife back and forth.
Oh, yeah. No, it wasn't going to be that.
Because knowing some people who are into those kind of podcasts.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Whoever the actor was who says, I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
Sure.
Yeah. Was saying that he just gets it all the time. And that movie, what is it, Apocalypse Now?
Mm-hmm.
Is very old.
Yeah.
So I guess it never goes away.
Yeah. Like the Pelican Brief.
Yes, which we have been laser focused on.
I believe if the Discord GIF search is to be believed.
Okay.
The Denzel famous GIF of him being relieved is in this movie.
What do you mean?
Of him like gasping his chest in relief.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, I believe it's from this movie.
Nice. Right. How excited.
Yeah.
To see the source.
Yeah. So that'll be good for all of us.
What do we think he's relieved about?
That what's her name? Julia Roberts.
Wow.
Made it home safely and delivered the brief.
Oh, okay.
I am excited to see Julia Roberts.
Great.
I felt kind of meh about her when she was really famous, and now I look back on her with such nostalgia.
She's so charming.
She is so charming.
This is like she's a big star, but she's not Erin Brockovich yet.
No, not yet.
Yeah, but is this a significant dramatic turn for her? I wonder in her career.
Great question.
Well, because she started out though like on Mystic Pizza, which is kind of a drama.
Is it? I've never seen it.
I mean, it's an independent film, but it has some humor. But I think it's dramatic.
But it's not like a thriller, right?
She just feels like rom-com.
Well, Steel Magnolias.
Yeah.
She's in that too?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't say.
I guess I don't know shit about Julia Roberts.
guess not.
I think that might be true, and I'm
so
sorry
you're saying
to tell
she
you.
could do it all from the get-go.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
From
Good
the
for
jump.
her.
She's been doing all of it.
Great.
Yeah. So
did we decide if she's a lawyer or a journalist?
I'm going to say she's not a lawyer. That's all I'm going to say.
I said
that's my firm stance.
She's a whistleblower.
Nice.
She's a whistleblower.
That's my guess.
And then
Denzel's
a journalist.
And who's
so
a
no
lawyer?
one's a lawyer?
Someone's got to be a lawyer.
Is there just an evil lawyer?
I thought we said this was a legal drama.
Maybe this one is just have a bad lawyer, but the main two are not lawyers. But their main enemy is corporate lawyer who's trying to gum up the works. Like fucking Fisher Stevens or someone. I don't know.
I'm enjoying all of these guesses.
Fisher Stevens is a good name for a pelican.
It is.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Oh, somebody please get a pelican and name it Fisher Stevens. Although I guess you could name any
Don't
pelican
keep a
Fisher
pelican as a
Stevens. Well, that's what I
Or
I
if you
think you're right.
see one on a beach, be like,
Yeah.
it's
If you're
named
If you're
Fisher.
like run a preserve,
Yeah.
and there are pelicans, and you
Yeah.
have to like tag them and track them.
Yeah, for research.
Then you can call one of them Fisher Stevens.
Yeah, for sure. Or if you're a weirdo that goes and like feeds the birds regularly,
Sure. But also,
and you recognize one.
but also careful on feeding those birds.
And also
Oh,
careful
sure.
on calling people weirdos just for caring about wildfowl.
But I'm saying you're going enough where you can pick out
Like
a
you can
singular
recognize
pelican
the
from the
birds.
entire flock,
Hey,
and you're starting to name them.
well, you don't want them to
that
be
better
anonymous.
than scrolling on Instagram.
Okay,
Yeah.
I want to point out that even though you guys are jumping down Dan's throat, he's describing what is probably one of his top 5 retirement dreams.
I know.
So
I want to be that weirdo.
I know. I honestly think about you, Dan, every time I go somewhere and there's like a group of retirees chatting.
Yep.
I'm like, this is Dan's dream.
You know? And I want you to know I'm aggressively thinking about how to relate "Jump Down My Throat" to a
Pelican
pelican
throat.
monster's
I know.
throat.
I thought of
and
it
I can't
too.
get there, but
That's
We
okay.
appreciate it.
know
We
that
appreciate
it's
you
there, and I'll be
stopping.
thinking about it for the next couple hours.
That's great.
Couple
Let us
hours.
know.
What?
You're
That's
not
what a
gonna-
pelican said to his next meal.
Oh,
That's
how about you
one.
"Jump Down My Throat"?
Yeah.
Ah,
Oh,
nice.
that wasn't
I like
very
it.
good. I don't
That's,
know.
that's good enough. We can move
I
on
don't,
now.
yeah.
You did great, Beth. You did great.
We
great.
sure
You're doing great.
pelican. Move on.
Yes, we
Yes.
pelican.
yes, we pelican.
And we're keeping it
Hey.
brief in the first half, as we
Nice.
should
Should
do.
do. I'm ready.
Yeah. I think the three of us have nothing to add, and Molly is enjoying being coy too much. So
Yes.
what's our rating scale?
I love it. Our rating scale is, of course, 4th pelican wing.
Fourth Pelican Wing, which is, of course, the horny book adaptation
Yes.
of
This
Pelican Brief.
podcast.
And this podcast.
Oh,
Yes.
wow.
Mhm.
Fourth.
It's somebody rates fan fiction.
About us?
Uh-oh.
I don't like putting this on
I'm
people's
not comfortable with this a lot.
Okay, listen. Here's my thing. I guess I know that fan fiction is usually sexual,
It doesn't have to be, though.
but
Slash
that's not where
fiction.
my brain goes. And so every time I'm like, oh, wouldn't that be sweet if somebody wrote fan fiction?
Yeah.
I don't think about like it being dirty.
Sure.
But now that we're talking about it, I feel awkward.
Yeah.
So-
If you want to specify that it's not dirty, that's
Yeah.
fine.
But
Not
also, if
dirty.
the scale is inspired by the
wing,
fourth wing,
Which we already know is notoriously horny.
Okay, so it's about
So it's a
pelican
chaste-
relationships.
okay.
The pelicans can do what they want.
But are we still in it?
No,
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe briefly?
Ah.
Do we?
We're narrating it.
We're just narrating.
We
it?
read the audiobook.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I
That's
love
right.
that.
All right.
That makes sense.
I love that.
I mean, yeah, we got there, right?
Okay.
There's
So
nothing
it's
else
an
to say.
audio. It's a book about horny pelicans. The audio version is read by us.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Fantastic. $19.99. $19.99.
Oh.
Oh, yes,
okay.
totally.
That's the price
Yeah.
point. Okay.
And we get
80%.
I was just going to say 80%. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We're so good at
If
this.
two
Business.
people say it at the same time, yeah. If
Huh?
two people say it at the same time, you can't counter negotiate that.
Yeah, we'll learn that in this movie.
That's the rules of law.
That's why Denzel's so relieved, is because
Yeah.
they said it at the same time
Yeah.
so that it's legally bound.
Yeah. Yeah. Dan, you go first, as we all know.
Yes, I do. I don't know anything about this movie other than Denzel Washington and Julia Roberts are in it, which means it's probably at least watchable. Molly seems to be excited about it, which means I will either agree with her or hate it and ruin it for her in the second half, as is tradition. I'm going to stick to a cowardly 3 because I genuinely have no idea where I'm going to land on this.
Great. Beth, you're up.
Okay. I just saw The Firm for the first time very recently,
Firm's time.
and I thought it was pretty entertaining. And Molly said that Pelican Brief was better.
Ooh,
So I'm going to go with 4.
nice.
The wing.
Wow. We are on fire tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's me. I'm third. I'm excited to watch a 90s thriller.
Nice.
I feel like I just like that kind of movie. And this
Yeah.
is that. So, and Denzel's great. Julia Roberts, I hear, is good as well. I feel like there's probably at least one more person that we're going to be excited
There
to
has
see,
to be.
if not 2 to 3.
Yeah.
I'm going to go fourth wing as well.
Nice.
Wow.
Ooh. When Dan Lynn had said we're on fire, I really wanted to say, yeah, dragon fire.
Nice.
So Beth, if you could just edit that in, I would really appreciate it.
Sure.
Okay.
She's definitely going to do that.
Yeah.
Fourth wing, as we all know, and no one's offended.
No.
And I am also I'm going to give it, for me, a cowardly 4.
A cowardly 4.
Well,
Okay.
because I've seen it recently enough that you would think I would have more conviction, but I don't. I think it's going to be fun.
Yeah. Why are you disparaging yourself by adding cowardice to this? This seems like a reasonable position to take.
Oh, well, thank you. All right.
A reasonable 4.
Thank you. I am betting a reasonable 4.
Wow.
Very nice.
Thank you. And thank you, Dan.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Finally.
Hey.
Hey, great.
Don't take my kudos.
I got it too late. I got it.
That's what this movie's about.
Yeah. Taking kudos.
Taking kudos.
Stealing kudos.
Chocolate covered granola bars from
Yes.
here to
Oh,
the
yeah.
Delta.
Oh,
Yep.
those were, that was my first introduction to the word kudos.
Me too.
Same.
And it has not helped me at all to know what kudos means.
Great.
And when people say
Yeah.
kudos, I'm just still a little lost.
Doesn't it mean like good job?
It does.
Yeah, I don't know why.
But
Yeah.
I don't know what
why?
its origins are.
And it feels like a word from somewhere else.
Yeah, it probably is.
Or like an acronym. Like if there feels like there's a history to
It's
it.
probably like Greek or Latin.
Yeah.
I'll look it up.
Okay.
Okay.
And with that, we're going to press pause, go watch the Pelican Brief, and look up some information. And we'll be right back.
Hey, everybody, it's me, Dan, your mid-roll champion. Top Dan, top dog. Bow, wow, woof, woof.
Oh,
Oh.
Coming at you with a very special announcement, an annual announcement. Respect Listener Opinions Month is right around the corner.
Whoa.
It's, again this year, gonna be May.
nice.
In that, our May episode will be picked by you, the listener, who we respect in May. So, starting now,
Whoa.
you can go to totesregal.com and fill out a form to nominate films for us to watch in May.
Just one, or can I do more than one?
You can nominate as much as you want.
Ooh, nice.
Wow.
Stuff that non-box.
Oh, stuff that nominations box?
Got it.
Yeah, stuff the non-box.
I will say the more movies that are listed, though, the less likely your movie is to be selected.
That is true.
If that
Sure,
makes
you're
sense.
diluting
so kind
your
of
own pool.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. So consider this if there's a movie you really, really want us to watch.
Yes, but technically unlimited nominations,
Got it.
well, are possible. No, not technically, because you don't have the time to do unlimited.
Oh, brother.
Anyway, starting now and then come April 2nd, go back to totesregal.com and there will be a new form in which you can vote on all the movies nominated. And the winner of that voting exercise
Yes.
will be the movie for May.
Wow. So simple.
And then you will feel respected in May when you listen to your movie that you voted on.
Yes. And if you don't hear your movie, you're not as respected, but you have a baseline respect of being a participant.
Know that we respect you for nominating and we respect you for voting, but we really respect you if you won.
Yes. That's the American way, baby.
USA number 5.
So all you need to know is totesregal.com between now and April 2nd, and then totesregal.com again between April 2nd and April 14th.
Incredible.
And then listen at totesregal.com on May 15th
Yeah.
for the movie.
The system works.
The
Oh, I can't
system
wait.
works. Totesregal.com.
.com. And we're back. We just watched 2 hours and 20 minutes of the most 90s movie that ever 90s.
Wow, that is a bold stance.
That's a bold stance with no Matthew Lillard to be seen.
No Matthew Lillard and no I don't know, Pacific Northwest soundtrack.
Okay, that's fair. These are all fair points.
Yeah.
I think this is entirely from your opinions about all of Julie Roberts' outfits.
I'm telling you, it was like deja vu for my own closet.
Yeah. In
Like
the
stuff
subgenre of thriller,
Yeah.
then 90s thriller, I'd accept that.
Yeah. I mean, it's,
I'm still dubious.
Before we get to everything else that we're going to get to, we realized shortly after we paused recording that we did not do the Bechdel Wallace. So we did a quick round before we continued the movie, but after we had seen the credits and seen that Cynthia Nixon was a named...
The only
other
deep
woman.
into the opening credits.
Yeah. It's a lot of men in this movie, y'all. It goes on for days. But anyway, then we saw Cynthia Nixon. We got very excited. And then we're like, oh, no, we haven't done Bechdel Wallace. So everyone here who thought it would not pass, say I was wrong.
Wow. This feels like a trap. This feels like a Pelican Brief.
Don't worry. There's a counterpoints very quickly.
Okay. I did not think it would pass.
Okay. Yeah. Now, very quickly, anyone who didn't think this movie happened in 1993 said I was wrong.
Okay, fine. I was wrong, but I did also guess the entire decade.
No, well, you shouted
garbage. That's a garbage guess.
Yeah. Unprecedented. We don't usually clump on a year like that. We don't. And then to do it and be 100% Utah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
We were just so confident, I guess.
Yeah.
It must have been in the ether.
Or we just like could sense the vibes of like, when would it make the most like financial sense to put Julia Roberts and Denzel Washington in a movie together?
Mine was just a group think situation.
Sure. The wisdom of large numbers or something.
Yeah. Sure. I had no idea. So I was like, sure, what the rest of the group says.
I mean, 2 men said 93.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
And so it must be
very
right.
confidently.
Yeah. And as we learned in this movie, men can just confidently decide how the world should be.
Dan and I throw on some gray suits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the exact same haircut.
And then you would become invisible in a way.
Yeah.
Honestly, and I know we're gonna get into it, but honestly, I was so glad we weren't in a movie theater because I felt I had to check so many times, like which guy in a suit is this guy?
I couldn't keep track of them.
It was so many middle-aged white dudes in suits.
Yep.
Yeah, it was that's what made it hard because like the older dudes, you're like, all right, I can clock like which one's the president and which one's like
he's always in the Oval Office.
That too with his dog.
Yeah,
but every staffer, every assassin, fake cop, CIA agent, they all look exactly the same.
Yeah, they're all white dudes in their late 30s to mid 40s with either slick back hair or going balding.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was something beyond them just being white dudes because usually I can tell white dudes apart in movies.
Yeah. Flex.
No big deal. But in this movie, I was like, they just were some of those guys were really, like the Garcia, which was like a code name,
Curtis,
and one of the Morgan. Assassin guys. I don't know. They looked almost identical.
Curtis Morgan and the chief of staff. I kept confusing the two of them.
Oh yeah,
like they looked almost exactly the same. I think one of them sometimes wore glasses, and that was it.
Yeah, it was that bit was a little challenging.
It almost was like they had tried to cast one role, and they're like, we just need like a mid-30s, like someone who'd be like someone who'd work in DC, and then like they just looked out in the hallway of that cast. You're just like, just take them all. Just take them all.
They're great. We've got plenty of roles. Yeah. It's a Grisham novel.
Yeah, just take them all. Then we can go to lunch.
Because there's bad guys and counter bad guys and worse guys and rich guys, and they're all after Darby Shaw,
the Bird Girl.
The Bird Girl, as
Denzel's boss calls her.
Smith Keen
of the Washington Herald.
Do we want to
Gray? No, his name was
Gratham.
Gratham of the Washington Herald. Oh, his boss. Got you. You know what? I've gotten way too far down. You're about to get us back on track, Dan.
Maybe. It's Dan.
How dare you? Gray Grantham, an award-winning journalist.
Yes.
The other thing that wins awards is our segment.
Incredible transition.
Our segues and segment 60-second summary, in which we summarize the movie we just watched, The Pelican Brief, in 60 seconds exactly.
Indeed.
The way of the world in this podcast is that I volunteer to do it.
Uh-huh.
It is a 2.5-hour movie.
Uh-huh.
I'll try. I think I'm going to do badly.
Wow.
Bold.
Okay.
You ready?
Yep.
Go.
We open on a bunch of pelicans. That turns out to be a Frontline special. Don't worry about it. Then we're in D.C. and we, you know what? Here's the thing. 2 Supreme Court justices get brutally murdered by an assassin who's Stanley Tucci. A lot to say about him. Anyway, Stanley Tucci kills 2 Supreme Court justices, and everybody's trying to figure out who done it. But the person who works the hardest at it is Darcy Shaw, an unknown law clerk who's having an affair with her professor. professor.
30 seconds and Darby.
He sucks, and we can talk more about it. But anyway, she comes up with this far-fetched theory that turns out to be true. But he passes it off to his friend in the FBI, who passes it around. And pretty soon, everybody who's seen it or heard about it has been brutally murdered, except for this one reporter that she confides in. And the two of them narrowly escaped death several times.
10 seconds.
To track down the true killer, who's a billionaire and has the president in his pocket. And the FBI is sort of involved, but not really. And the CIA is in there somewhere. And there are a lot of assassins.
Time.
That was pretty good.
I think he landed the plane, 100%
Thank you.
Utah.
Definitely landed the plane.
Great.
Just to spice things up, as they do in Nolans, where this film takes place.
Oh, my Lord.
Part of it.
And I've been multiple times.
Okay.
Oh, Brady.
We're going to try to this recording to pair that wonderful 60-second flawless summary with
We're basically daring them not to give us the award by presenting a different summary.
devil's advocate counterpoint.
Like a pre-written.
Yeah. The synopsis from Letterboxd.
Great.
Which is as follows.
Want me to time it?
Sure. See how long it takes. 2 Supreme Court justices have been assassinated. One lone law student has stumbled upon the truth. An investigative journalist wants her story. Everybody else wants her dead.
Ooh.
A law student's theory about the recent deaths of 2 Supreme Court justices embroils her in a far-reaching web of murder, corruption, and greed. That's it.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
I feel like maybe the first part was the tagline, though it's very long. And the second part is maybe a summary because they kind of are the same.
So I know I got mine spot on.
Absolutely.
100% Utah.
Yeah.
I do wish, though, that I had mentioned that at the very end of the movie, Darcy is able... Darby. Okay. Darby is able to leave the country in like an FBI plane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in the original ending... It's all gray and cool and very Casablanca. She gets on the plane, whatever. She flies off. And then we see her it doesn't really matter. That's sort of the last you see of her. She gets into a minivan. And the studio execs were like, it's kind of a downer, man. We've got America's Sweetheart.
Yeah.
And the last we see of her, she's driving off of a gray airport in a minivan. What's up? So then, months after original production had finished, they had to film an alternative ending. Yes, her hair does look different, and it seems very out of place. But they show her again, and this time she's clearly in some tropical, warm, happy place. She could not be surrounded by more flowers. It almost looked like she was at a mortuary or something. There were just flowers everywhere behind her.
She looked like she was portraying Poison Ivy in a Batman movie.
Yes, and she looks so relaxed. She's
chill.
like Julia Roberts, shiny. She's chilling out. Maybe she has a cup of tea, and she's watching Grantham, the reporter on TV, being coy and kind of smiley and basically communicating from afar that he thinks she's rad.
Yeah.
Blackout.
Yeah. It almost felt like it sort of did feel like someone in the executive suite was just like, we have 2 of the best smiles in Hollywood in the same movie, and we're not going to have them both coyly smile at the end of the movie.
Yeah, something.
You're just going to have them wave at each other in kind of a grid, like
a nice
overcast hangar bay.
I didn't really put that together until they did put those smiles back to back. And then I was like, oh my God.
Me too. I was just like, God damn.
Yeah, the charisma is just blowing out the TV
undeniable.
tubes.
I can't remember what textbook I had in high school, but it had a picture of Denzel Washington in it just to demonstrate that he has one of the most symmetrical faces.
Yes. They had that and Lyle Lovett.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh,
Who's
God
not
bless him.
symmetrical.
Yeah.
She was married to Lyle Lovett during
At the time?
this at
that's
that
right.
point
Do
from
you think
93
that's
to
why it
96.
failed?
They were
Because she
fired
saw that
too.
symmetrical face of Denzel Washington. She was just like, oh no.
No, but I have to say, Lyle Lovett wrote some of his best music during their courtship and marriage.
You're proposing a Robert's Muse theory.
Oh, I suppose.
Yeah.
At any rate, but yeah, Lyle Lovett does not have a symmetrical face. And I don't care for those apps that point out to you how different your face is. It cuts your face in half and then shows you what your face would look like if it were either side on both sides.
It's weird.
It is. And I always thought I had sort of a symmetrical face until I had to take my own picture for a passport because it was, pandemic times.
Yeah.
And you have to hold your head totally straight. And I didn't realize that, of course, I tilt my head so my eyes are level. But that's not. Anyway, it was gruesome.
Yeah.
It was a gruesome realization.
The point is,
Denzel Washington
can get it.
Yeah.
He can get it. And I have to apologize. His being relieved GIF is not in this movie at all.
Yeah.
And so
I blame the internet.
would also like an apology from the GIF search on Discord.
You know what I bet it is?
Because I searched. Go ahead.
I bet it's those large language models poisoning the well.
Probably. Because I searched the Pelican Brief.
Yeah.
It was mostly New Orleans Pelicans basketball
Nice.
GIFs and just shots of pelicans. And I was like, I would like to put at least one of the main actors so people know what's going on. And this was the only one with either Denzel or Julia Roberts. And I was like...
And it's the wrong movie.
And it was the first hit, too. And I was like, okay, it's got to be in there,
That's
right?
wild.
And no, it wasn't. I don't know what movie that's from.
This is like the new horse.
Oh, no.
Like what movie is Denzel relieved in?
Yeah, that feels like an easier answer. But
I hope so.
Maybe not. What if it's not for a movie?
Totes challenge. Find the movie where Denzel Washington is relieved on camera.
And then I guess realize that thumbs up, that like smiley nodding guy is Rubber Rufford. You know that?
Yeah. The guy who like almost looks like Mark Hamill, like a fat Mark Hamill.
Or Zach Galifianakis, yeah.
Wait, what?
What?
You know, the GIF is like a beardy guy.
Like a man of the forest who's like
he like does a nod.
Does a little nod.
No, I don't.
Nope.
Well,
look it up. Rubber Rufford.
It's Robbie Rockford.
Oh.
Robert Redford?
Excuse me?
I don't know who that
Who's
is.
Is it
that?
Robert?
Robert Rockford.
I'm talking about a famous actor, Rubber Rufford.
And two-horse rider.
He rides two horses and he's from
Founded
Sundance.
Sundance?
Here's me, Rubber Rufford.
Oh, I'm going to nod at you to assure that you're doing the correct thing.
Minneapolis, you didn't get Sundance Film Festival, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Where did it go?
I forgot that was a thing.
I don't know if they've decided yet.
Isn't it happening this year, or is it not moving for another couple of years?
No, it doesn't move to 2026.
I see.
But the lease is up or whatever. So they're
The
looking
lease
for...
on the entire town is up?
Yeah.
I see.
Anyway, the Pelican Brief, I don't think went to Sundance.
Twice. It was really fun.
Did you see Rubber?
You see the Pelican
No,
Brief?
but I saw Paul Rudd.
Oh, shit.
Oh,
and
my
Colin
gosh.
Firth.
Wow.
Yeah.
Neither of which are in the Pelican Brief.
No,
Ugh.
unfortunately.
Quick, let's watch something else.
Oof, this movie was very long.
Yes.
I will say that.
What was it, 220?
It was only 220. I thought it was 230.
Still.
It felt 230. Even though our very own Trudy Ship was the snip.
Yes,
The
we were
sniff.
very excited to see Trudy Snip.
It's been a while since we've seen
Trudy
a...
Ship. It's Trudy Ship.
Who likes to snip?
She
Who
likes
likes
to
to
snip.
snip?
Excuse me.
Yes, it's been
The
a while
editor.
since we've re-seen a credits hero on this show.
Yeah.
So we were very pumped to see her name.
And she
pop up.
got, frontal credits. What are they called?
Excuse me?
What?
Opening credits?
There
Full
it is.
frontal
Full frontal credits. Yeah, full frontal credits.
Yeah.
Here's the thing about Trudy Ship that I think is interesting, because the other movie that she directed, where she originated from in our character world, is Mr. Holland's Opus,
Also a long movie.
which is also long.
And a 3-word
And
title.
our whole thing about her was that she talked like this,
Yes.
very short.
Yes.
Yeah.
No,
She snips. She can still talk like
she
that.
likes a long movie.
Maybe she does, but I think maybe she just works with the directors who were like, I can't cut this down from 3.5 hours.
I believe our argument in the Holland's Opus episode was that she was the one who was able to like talk them down to like, what if we only did like 10 minutes of this year of his life?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like she was probably the one who's just like, okay, what if we just show what if we just trust the audience will know that the janitor who is Denzel Washington source in the White House, they'll figure it out after just one shot of him cleaning something outside the Oval Office rather than cutting to him multiple times.
Yeah, I do think they could have let go of some of the sleuthing. As much as I was like all in during it, because they're both so charismatic and like the score is good as it's like raising the tension, and it's got like simple detective vibes of like just being clever and sneaky,
Right.
which I really appreciate.
Yes.
But like they kind of do it a bunch.
Right. There is a montage that is basically just the two of them going to different reception desks and asking for something.
Yeah.
And it's like, they probably could have just like gone to one and then met back up in their car and be like, okay, we got the whatever.
Yeah.
I think they should have just narrowed down the amount of assassins that they had, and then they would have only had to show one assassin.
Sure.
and then the movie would have been like a third. How many assassins
But
were
they
there? Were
need
so many.
one assassin to kill the other assassin.
Oh,
Right?
sure.
Because
Yes.
the CIA was on detail just to follow.
CIA killed Tooch, though.
Is that what happened?
Let's be clear. Let's be clear. Okay, so let's first talk about Stanley Tucci.
Oh, baby.
Okay.
First of all, he's in this movie.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
he
And
is in it.
He can get it.
He could get it. He is like so. I don't know if he did like extra lifting or something.
I think
looks
it's just
good.
a young Tooch.
He is a young Tooch.
Yeah.
He
Younger,
is a
at
young
least.
Tooch out on the town, and he does different voices.
Yes.
Yeah.
He puts
on like
on a mustache at one point.
Yes.
Even though his job is murder, he's like so good at his job.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
And so relaxed. He also snacks way too much while working. I will say that.
You got to live life while you're living.
I
You
Gotta
know
live
what I mean?
Moss.
Yeah, live Moss. That's right. Boom.
Yeah.
But Stanley Tucci is just like one of the many people out there. So he was hired by the billionaire guy, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. And so he's
Who was the guy in the hotel that was handing off the?
Presumably, he was
go-between?
just like,
Okay. I didn't know if you're supposed. That was one guy that I was like, am I supposed to recognize this person?
I think
No.
he's just the guy.
He just sits in a hotel room until someone asks for Edward Snifter or whatever,
and
and
then
then
hands him a
slides an
picture.
envelope under the door.
Yeah.
Edward
they have to do
Snifter.
some like exchange.
Yeah.
Yes, secret code.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway, so Stanley Tucci like really honestly kills a bunch of people. He figures out how to find Darby Shaw.
Real quick,
Yeah.
it's too bad they make Stanley Tucci like Middle Eastern for no
Vaguely
reason.
Middle Eastern. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought he was sort of vaguely European.
They said it was like Camille, like Camille.
Oh,
and
yeah.
like, didn't they talk about how he's a foreign terrorist?
Yeah, or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I think they kept it extremely vague,
They
but
did.
I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you.
But also vaguely Middle Eastern.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he was like vaguely like Eastern European, like Soviet bloc
Maybe
recently.
I was cynically reading into it.
Maybe.
Go ahead. Anyway, still too trucked.
Yeah. Anyway,
rock.
here's the
Yep.
point. Here's the point. He looks great.
Looks great.
And he's very good at his job. But anyway, at one point, he kills the person that Darby Shaw, a.k.a. Julia Roberts,
Yeah.
is supposed to meet up with.
AKA the Bird Girl,
Yeah.
He kills Kevin McAllister's dad from Home Alone.
who is the chief counsel
Counsel.
of the FBI
Yeah.
or something.
And also Thomas Callahan's friend.
Buddy. Thomas Callahan being the law professor that Julia Roberts was sleeping with, who she was also the student
Yeah.
of.
We did 2 synopses.
Fair enough.
Okay.
All right, fair enough.
And I think we
Listen,
can
this
just...
was our experience watching the movie, too. We were
I
like,
know.
wait, which guy is this?
I know. Anyway, all I'm trying to get at is that they have to have somebody kill him because otherwise he would have killed our main character.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
got to have the
But who killed him?
The CIA.
Just
CIA.
cuz?
Because they
No.
wanted to protect her.
They're watching her, then they see him, and they take their shot.
Where are they the rest of the time while she's being shot at in parking garages
don't
and
know.
whatever?
Well, no, because they're watching her.
Right.
They've got an eye on her, but they're not supposed to like.
Clearly don't have that good of an eye on her.
They're not supposed to interfere at all.
Can they
because the
kill
CIA
Tucci
can't do
because he's
that.
foreign and they're the CIA and they only do foreign
They're
stuff?
Well,
not
no.
supposed to.
They're not supposed to, but also keep in mind
He's
they
a known
are.
entity, too.
The other guy got killed 8 hours earlier, so
Right.
they had plenty of time to realize that
Right.
the actual source had been killed.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine. But like if they're really protecting Darby Shaw, they're trying to kill her for the rest of the movie. People are trying to kill her and the
Yes.
CIA
Yeah.
doesn't do shit.
They
Well, but-
know who he is.
Yeah.
Like he's specifically the reason we know his vaguely whatever ethnicity name is because they were already rumors that he was in the country.
So they were watching him, not her.
Well,
Basic.
they probably were watching her, but they were like, "Oh shit, it's that guy."
We're
Yeah.
allowed to kill him.
yeah. Well, they're
probably.
international. They're not even supposed to be involved.
I don't
right.
think they
Yeah.
are allowed to kill him, but they do.
Yes,
Okay.
And so that's
which is
why it's undercover
and it's
or whatever.
off the record.
Yeah,
at
off the
end.
record.
Yeah,
Okay.
so the
It's very
president
complex.
kind of
asked the
is.
CIA to watch things.
But they're not
They're
supposed
not
to.
supposed to because
Right.
it's a domestic
Can I just
issue.
can we stop? Let's just go ahead and say this is 2025, right?
Right
This
now?
episode is recorded in
Oh,
2025.
Sure.
Okay. wow.
True.
This movie takes place in 1993-ish, and it is so charming because the president is deeply concerned
about
laws and who's supposed to do what and like what obstruction of justice might look like.
And like a news story brings things down.
Yeah.
Like just
the head of the FBI is willing to throw the administration under the bus for the purpose of his own integrity.
I mean,
all he wants to do is hang out with his dog.
Oh, the president?
Yeah.
I mean, if this president wasn't like so Bush Senior. And then it turns out that this movie came out during the Clinton administration. Sure. It was written during the Bush administration.
Sure.
Clinton administration. And they watched it a week before it premiered.
Who did?
The White House. What's the writer's name again?
John Grisham.
John Grisham. And the writer, director, producer, everything.
Dr. Dracula or whatever his name was.
Yeah.
Alex Dracula.
Something.
Yeah. Anyway, they were there. But it must have been, I feel like it'd be so weird to be the actual president and be watching this conspiracy theory. I wonder like how hard he was laughing at to himself. Like, oh, like I could get, like, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then was there someone right outside the theater like vacuuming and going, ha, ha, ha. They got it right. I don't know. Anyway, that would just be weird. That'd be a weird place. It'd be like,
it would be weird.
It would be like watching an airplane crash movie with like the president of Delta.
Sure.
So it's just a little awkward about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be weird.
Did it say whether they liked the movie or not?
Oh, I think they did. I think they enjoyed it.
I mean, they'd probably say that no matter what.
Yeah, what are they going to say?
Oh, I don't like the idea of a president being held accountable for his mistakes.
That reminds me of a Discord question that I saw earlier.
Okay.
So Discord is our text-based chat platform.
You got it.
That you can gain access to through Patreon if you would like to support our show.
Patreon.com/TotesRecall.
But so we ask our patrons to ask questions about the movie. My last name is a palindrome says, my only knowledge of this movie comes from a David Spade joke on SNL about the length of the movie. Which I'm guessing is that it is long. It feels akin to The Fugitive, but without the staying power. Is it a hidden gem of a 90s thriller?
Ooh. I mean, it's no Fugitive.
It's no Fugitive.
No.
And I don't know how hidden it is.
Yeah.
Maybe we're old and it just feels like, yeah, this is a 90s thriller.
Right.
One of the top ones.
It definitely had, in the first 15, 20 minutes of the movie, like I was very struck by like the very, like it had the pacing of a movie that couldn't exist now. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like the first 20 minutes of this movie were like so patient with itself, which was like, once I figured out what the story was, since at first I thought it was just gonna be about like, oh, corporation bad, but it's like then immediately like a Supreme Court justice gets murdered. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah.
But then even after they're murdered, it's still like takes its time. So I'm like, wow, this is very much not how this movie would be made today.
We get a good chunk of time just with like Julia Roberts and drunk
like talking about it.
Professor.
Like the first act is literally like those two just like talking about the assassinations, but like in a pretty casual way. And then every once in a while we cut to Denzel Washington getting a phone call. And that's the first like 20 minutes of this movie, besides the murder.
But it's not boring.
It's weird.
It feels really interesting. And I think it was refreshing to watch a movie that did not feel like it was written by a robot. I feel like we've cranked the formula in so tight now that expectations are very strong. On the other hand, I'll say this. I tried to watch a movie that was, I think, supposed to be a rom-com / action movie. Okay. And the first 15 minutes was just the meet cute. Yeah. And I nearly lost my mind. I was like, what is happening with this story? It felt wrong because it was a formulaic story told in a weird way. I ended up watching the 12-minute summary
of the movie
and enjoyed it very much. But it was just like, I don't know. So I guess I'm saying it's not just any movie that could do this. This is like really beautifully done.
There's also, as we said, an immense amount of charisma and acting coming across.
Yeah, don't watch Ghosted.
Okay.
What? Is that what you're...
Yeah, it was called Ghosted.
Okay.
And it's supposed to be like a wild thing where a woman is a secret agent, international spy,
Sure.
and her new, like this guy who falls in love with her accidentally gets caught up in all that mayhem.
Yeah.
I swear to you, the first 15 minutes are them having coffee, walking through a museum and discussing Monet way too long. Also, she's supposed to be an art dealer, and she's like, my favorite painter is Monet. And I'm like, you and like every college freshman, are you serious right now?
Sure.
Like you're an art dealer and Monet?
Yeah.
What if it was Denzel Washington and Julia Roberts?
Oh, 100% buy it.
Would watch.
I would watch the first 15 minutes over and over again.
Yeah.
Denzel looks cool just walking around.
Oh my God.
This dude.
He like walks over with teas as they're sitting in a hunting cabin. And you're like,
Hell
damn.
Yeah.
Or like even just like the way there's a point in the movie where he is just lying in a hotel bed, already awake, but in a very specific position, right? He's like on his side. Phone rings behind him. The rest of his body does not move a millimeter. His arm reaches behind, grabs the phone in one fluid motion, and it was the most incredible thing I've ever seen.
It's just so cool.
So cool.
Yeah.
How does he do it?
I don't know.
Anything he does.
There's a moment where she says she's going to go with him to the widow's house from the other informant.
One of the many people who was killed.
Yeah. And he goes, look at me like that. And I was like, oh.
I will.
Like, how could you not?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
And I appreciate that they did not bang.
me too.
That this was, as predicted, not a horny movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think part of the reason we appreciate it is because of the level of charisma we're getting from having these two on screen.
Yeah.
Like a part of you is just like, they should bang.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like as an audience member for like a movie, you're just like, oh, these two should definitely bang.
Yeah. They deserve each other in the best way.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's so refreshing
Yes,
again
it
to
is.
like to have the thing not cranked all the way, as
Yeah.
Molly, you were saying, right? Like it's so nice to have a movie that doesn't. It's about things, and it doesn't also have to be about romance.
Yes.
When it's like, especially in a thing like this, where someone is having an immensely traumatic experience
Yeah.
of like, oh, I just thought hard and wrote a thing, and now the government is trying to kill me.
And others
And
because of what I
like,
did.
The person that I loved, who, in fact, let's just be honest, was an alcoholic
Yes.
philanderer
Yeah.
who was taking advantage of his law students, but whatever. Anyway, but for her, that relationship was real and important, and she saw him die.
Yeah.
Like, that is very messed up.
Yeah.
And like, I said this while we were watching the movie, but that to me was the most realistic
Yeah.
response to seeing somebody die.
Just having like
I
being
mean, she was just-
completely locked in.
Yeah, she was absolutely in shock
Yeah.
and just like wasn't even responding. And I feel like in so many movies, you see something completely traumatic happen, and then it's like as if nothing happened, or
Right.
they're kind of sad
Yeah.
or whatever.
Or they're like so over the top, like
Like-
they're like an hour, you know? Like, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it was really well done. And also I want to say this. So when we were watching the credits, it was like, so, don't tell me.
We don't know
don't
what
know
you're talking about. I don't know
So
what you're not
Julia
telling me.
Roberts gets top billing.
Yes.
So Julia Roberts gets top billing, followed by Denzel Washington.
Yes.
Then the title for the movie.
Yeah.
Then it's a lot of names you've heard of, but it's man name. Like, I think 10, 12. And then we got Cynthia Nixon.
Yeah.
I nearly peed my pants. I was so excited to see a woman.
Yeah.
And it was just like that, this whole movie. Like, I think even the extras, like, didn't balance out. It was very intensely, apparently one of those scenes did have 1,000 extras in it.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So and it did pass the Bechdel Wallace because Cynthia Nixon plays a fellow student
Yes.
who's also extremely bright
Yes.
and is helpful, and they talk to each other, right? So glad for Cynthia Nixon's character, glad for Julia Roberts' character. As irritated as I am by how much time and space gets taken up by indistinguishable white men, not that there's anything wrong with that.
There's a little bit wrong.
I mean, I don't know. I'm starting to worry now about our Gen Ys.
What?
Hey, Gen Ys, listen.
Who's Gen Y?
Technically, millennials are Gen Y.
Oh, so Gen Zs.
Well, who are you talking about?
Alpha?
The alphas?
Wait, is Gen Z not a thing? Did we skip it?
No, Gen Z is a thing, but like Dan was teaching us Gen Alphas last time. We learned about GAT.
Yeah.
Gen Zs are like in their 20s now, and Gen Alphas are like in tens.
Yes.
Tens.
Okay.
Is that a
So
thing? Teens.
I thought Gen Alpha's like teenagers now. They're inventing internet slang.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
She said teens.
So I think it starts in 20.
I did say tens, which
Okay.
is not the right word.
But that's technically what it is. if
You're
you
right.
Think about
Teens
it.
are tens.
Whoa.
Okay.
Sorry, Molly. Which generation are you
My
talking
old
to?
Gen Z brain.
No.
Am I? I thought Z
You are
and millennial were the
absolutely
same.
not Gen Z. You thought they were the same the whole time?
No, it goes Gen
We've
X,
spent
Gen Y, Gen Z, Gen Alpha.
So
Gen
many
A.
episodes we've talked about the Z people dragging us down.
Yes,
Remember?
you're right.
Yeah. Oh my God.
So Y is millennial?
Y is
guess.
technically millennials. Yes.
Okay.
But we
you
call
and
them
I-
millennials.
You and I are sometimes referred to as Zennials with an X because we're oldos.
Elder millennials
Yes.
or the Oregon Trail generation.
Which is my preferred terminology.
That's what I like the
frankly.
best.
Sorry, Molly.
Bob.
Which generation would you want to talk
You're
to?
worried about Dan and I?
No,
and
I'm
Beth?
not, I am not worried about you two at
You
all.
should be.
Okay.
Well, not in this particular way, but I am worried about Gen Z.
Okay.
Because when we say stuff that's like, oh, white men or whatever,
Yeah.
people who are millennial, zillennial, and up understand all the history and background and get that,
Okay.
right?
Yes.
But people who are younger and newer don't. So they don't have any context for it. So they're just like, well, I'm just getting rejected and being made the object of derision by all of these other generations. And there's like not like any context for it.
Interesting.
So I've been trying to be more conscious about being like, white guys. Because I don't mean like, you know what I mean?
You mean not
know
all
what
men.
I mean, right?
Hashtag not all men.
So you're trying not to paint
not-
anybody with a broad brush.
Yes.
Yeah.
White men included.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That I feel like I've gotten, it's become shorthand for a great deal of information and context. And it's beginning to occur to me that not every person has that context.
Sure. White men is shorthand for a particular type of white man.
Yeah. For a particular type of patriarchy and its manifestation.
Yeah.
So
in our
what is the
society.
concern here? That young white men feel bad?
Do you know
that
why?
they don't have context. They just, that without context, we're just alienating people without them understanding what's up.
But they don't listen to our podcast.
Oh no, we're a 4-quadrant podcast. I
Yeah.
am certain there are many young 20-somethings who are really excited to hear about nostalgia for 90s movies.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do they know, and do you know why it's Pop-Tarts and not Mom Tarts?
Are you messing with
Is
me
this
right
a real
now?
thing?
Well, it's because of the patriarchy.
No.
Oh my God.
Beth saw that coming.
He just sets up those jokes in a very specific way.
There's a lick.
the
There's a
hand on the
glint in
hip.
his
I
eye.
think it is. Y'all, I just, for the record, Beth started shaking her head.
Immediately.
Like the first syllable came out of Dan's mouth. I thought you had heard it before.
No, he just kind of perks up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
then
So
hand
proud
on
of
hip.
himself.
Do you know
Re-engage.
why?
Suddenly he has more interest in the podcast than he ever has.
Yeah. That one I heard from another dad imposing it on a Target helper outside
Yeah.
of a Target.
Yeah.
It was like helping him the groceries. Like, hey, wait, you gotta tell
He
us.
was so good. He was so proud of
And
it.
then I was like, I heard it and laughed. And he came over to the window and told me another that I can't remember. Then I told him one and we laughed.
You high five?
Yeah.
Nice. Did you get his number?
No.
You guys should hang out.
Just a couple St. Paul dads.
Hell yeah.
You should go to the dad park.
Yeah.
The dad park.
Yeah.
Devil's advocate, ugh, white men. That's my position.
I get you. Okay. Anyway, the point is, for all of that sentiment and all that genuine feeling I have, I was so excited to see a genuinely extremely smart female character.
Oh,
She's
yeah.
so
At no
sharp.
point did
Yep.
she ask Denzel Washington, what do we do?
No.
She was so smart in how she gave out information and how she adapted under
Yep.
horrific circumstances. And she's just smart.
Yeah.
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 And she makes moves without them being explained.
Yeah.
Like she never, not like she has to justify it, but like the movie trusts that she is smart as well. Like
Yes.
she just does stuff and you go like, oh yeah, that was smart.
Yeah.
And like no one is like congratulating her or walking you
Yeah.
through why this was a good move
Yes.
on her part.
Totally.
Yeah. There are a couple moments where they walk through the entire plot of the movie.
Sure. But
Which actually I
understandably,
appreciate.
yeah, exactly.
I
There were
mean,
times.
it is complicated, and it, especially like we have said, like
Yeah.
some of those characters really look the same, and you're like, is that guy from the FBI, the CIA,
Yeah.
or where is that guy
Right.
from?
Honestly, I still don't know.
Yeah.
It didn't help that like so many branches of the government were like playing slightly different but related games, and then they all happen to look exactly the same.
Yeah.
Like this is why it's nice to have like, at least with like shows like Game of Thrones where it's all a lot of white dudes that look the same, they at least have like a specific crest on their armor that tells you which house they're from.
They need to be labeled.
Yeah, like they should have like FBI hats on even indoors.
Yeah. Or even like they wear sunglasses,
Sure.
all the FBI.
All
like
the FBI wear sunglasses, all the CIA like have a cell phone or something. I don't know.
I mean, best case, it's a commentary on like government workers or something, and like the faceless government apparatus.
Yeah.
But it's
like
probably the patriarchy.
Also, some very good commentary that dogs are heroes.
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There are 2 instances where a
missed
dog
the first
barking.
dog.
The first
It's
dog,
not seen. It's an off-screen dog.
off-screen dog,
Oh, off-screen dog.
but alerts Denzel Washington to danger such that he grabs with his muscular arms.
That shirt looks really good on him. That scene in particular.
I mean,
A lot of things.
just
look good on
hanging
him.
out in a cabin. I mean, seriously. Anyway, whatever. It's fine.
This man at one point, it's 3 seconds in the movie. He briskly trots to a payphone, and it's still like, I could never look that good. Like I could never look
I
that
know,
cool.
he's wearing like really boring socks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Incredible.
It's just incredible. Anyway, the point is, so he reaches for a gun, is like, who's out there? And it turns out to be Darby, so it's cool. But the dog alerted him. And then later, Darby and Denzel Washington's character, Gray, are cornered in a parking lot, and they don't realize
By a
they've
lady
been
assassin.
hacked.
That's
A
right.
lady
First lady
Out of
assassin.
nowhere.
Who's also smart because she knows to look for their reflection in a car. And just before she shoots, a Doberman, for whatever reason, there's a Doberman in a car nearby, and
It's a
the
parking
Doberman
garage.
alerts. Yeah.
People run errands with their dogs in the car all the time.
Yeah, they're at the bank. They probably have like
It's
an
near
estate.
the bank.
It's near the
So
bank.
there could be other stores nearby.
Yeah, it's probably
sure.
Macy's.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I just got to
Definitely
pop in.
Macy's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a Macy's bag that really stood out.
It really did.
Did it really? I
Yeah,
didn't
it was.
see it.
It
Oh, I
seemed
missed
like
it.
product placement kind
Probably
of.
too focused on all the short king assassin stunts.
Yeah, the one
He's the best assassin.
the one
we agree?
assassin we could tell apart was Short King.
Like besides Tooch, because like Tooch is named. Like Tooch is his own character.
He's his own thing.
Yeah, he's not a government assassin, right? He's a private
They're all
assassin.
private, aren't they?
So wait, when
Oh,
she's
no.
on the elevator and there are all these white dudes on the elevator and we see Short King
Yes.
assassin.
Yes.
Yeah.
Are all of those dudes like also government people?
No, I think the camera lingers on them to give us the sense that Julia Roberts is so paranoid
That
now
she
that
assumes
everybody
anyone
could be a threat.
Right, fair.
But only Short King is.
Got it.
And he is, as we've established, short. He
Or
also
just shorter than others.
Yeah, I mean he's probably a normal height,
Absolutely.
like an acceptable height, a good height for a man to be.
Yes.
Like 5'6" or so, like
Okay,
a great
this
height.
all feels
for-
very
Like
judgy.
not the best height, certainly, but
Well,
like
you could argue that it's the best height.
I mean, you could also argue that like maybe it's nice to have a little more gait, a little more reach.
I mean, if you're gonna barrel through a crowd, you got to have a low center of gravity.
absolutely- No, there's clearly that's why they hired him. Like that's clearly his specialty is like I can get through any crowd in New Orleans at any time because I have a low center of gravity.
Yeah. Anyway, he's great. But he has one of the best deaths of all the assassins.
Hell yeah.
He's driving the car, trying to kill him in the parking ramp, and he runs into his own car-bombed car.
Wow.
And explodes.
Oh, that's true.
Decent 90s explosions. A good in the pantheon of movie explosions, but I expect a lot from a 90s.
But it's a Grisham movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's
like
not an
you're not
Arnold movie.
expecting an explosion in a Grisham movie.
Yeah.
So any explosion is like, oh wow.
Yeah.
What a surprise.
There were a lot of surprising deaths.
There were.
Oh my gosh, that one where it's just like the TV screen and then blood splatters on the screen.
Tooch.
They just like amp up they did a good job amping up the tension.
Oh,
They
yeah.
did. They did a real and they never.
Yeah.
I think Tooch is the only one you actually see get shot. I feel like every time Tooch shoots somebody, like you just or no. I guess you see the Justice's nurse get shot, but then the camera pans, you find out the Justice was already shot.
Yeah. So you didn't even know when it happened.
That was cool, where it's just like, oh shit, he's in danger. And then the camera pans back and it's like, oh, he's already dead. Wow. Tooch.
Okay, Short King. This whole time I was thinking was CIA, but he's not CIA.
I think he's part of the unit, right?
Is it the
unit.
bar or whatever they keep talking about?
so. I don't know. See, that's the thing is like, I was under the impression that all of them just are being paid by Millionaire.
But some of them are hired by Cole.
Okay,
Don't
so
we
then
think some
he
of
is
them
the
are?
unit.
I think
then.
he's the unit.
Okay. So Short King is the unit. So only Tooch was hired by the millionaire?
Yeah, I think
Do
so.
we think?
Maybe.
Everybody else is the unit?
Maybe.
I don't
Seems
know.
like the millionaire should be.
hedging his bets.
Yeah,
That's why I
But he
assumed they
did
were
hire
all million.
the best.
Sure.
Like, I mean,
that's true.
But then he did lose him.
but
Which is maybe
only
where
because
Lady
the
came
CIA.
from. Is that where Lady came from? He's like, oh shit, the Tooch is gone. I need get me Lady.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
because
don't know.
I don't know.
because King was already in the play.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
I don't know.
Listen, I'm just saying, like, if you're gonna write a brief,
Yeah.
maybe just don't put your name on it.
Yes.
She's just doing it for yucks, just like for the intellectual
Yeah.
exercise.
She
It's
just
true.
got
Because
really
she's so that good.
Tenacious.
Yeah. And that's what it gets you. I mean, I think that's the moral of the story is like,
Yeah.
don't be a smart woman.
Right.
Yeah.
Or
Don't.
else the government will try and kill you.
I mean, honestly,
Sure.
Molly
just
is
hit a
wrecked.
little too close to home.
Well,
Denzel's there though.
yeah.
It's fine. Everything's fine.
They won't kill them. They'll just send them to El Salvador. It's fine.
Wait, who are we sending to El Salvador?
Don't worry
Julia
about
Roberts,
it. Sure.
she could be there, right?
Yeah.
Costa Rica. It looks nice.
Yeah, I don't know where we don't know
PG?
where she landed. They don't even tell us.
No.
Here's the thing, though. There's only so far that plane can go.
Right.
Yeah.
The size of that plane,
What are
like,
you guessing then? What's
I
your
mean,
thought?
it could there.
Layover?
That yeah, she
Refuel?
could. Yeah.
refueled and or just hopped a commercial flight somewhere.
Yeah, and I do appreciate that the movie takes the brief amount of time to tell us, to answer the question of how does she pay for all this.
Right.
There's just a brief, like, you get on money. Yes, I still have the money my father gave me.
Right.
And that's enough. Because
Yeah.
like the whole thing, I was like, this costs a lot of money. She's not working
changing
anymore.
clothes all the time.
Yeah.
She's
And she
getting
can't
wigs.
use her credit card anymore.
Right?
Right.
She's paying cash for everything. I don't know how she's getting the cash out, but
Maybe she's.
I would be so bad at running from
She could
assassins.
probably go into
Yeah.
a regular bank at that time, right?
Yeah.
She wouldn't even have to use an ATM. She could like walk into an actual bank and just take out money.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm describing, and you could use the phone by turning a rotary dial.
Right.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about there's a TV show, I think it was on MTV in like the 2000s, where they just like a bunch of people were cast in the show and they just all of a sudden it was like, you have 24 hours to hide from us.
Oh,
and then they like
yeah.
tracked, and it was like half of the people within the first day got caught because they used their credit cards to buy something.
Oh,
Nice.
yeah.
People, yeah. So she is very smart.
Yeah. Another Discord question we got is from Fra, who says, I've never seen this movie, and maybe this will prompt me to finally give it a shot. This is about a seabird wearing underwear?
Yeah.
Yep, you got
Yep.
it.
Yeah,
Nailed it.
I mean, I think it's obvious from the way we've been talking about it.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the primary focus.
I don't
Yeah,
think
we
we see.
forgot to cover that part actually.
Oh, it's Calvin Klein because it's the 90s.
yeah.
yeah.
I was going to say we don't see anybody underwear, but that is not true.
That's not true.
We get just, hey, there's Julia Roberts brushing her hair in her bra.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh yeah.
No good reason for it.
Nope.
I mean,
That's showing how
One-
vulnerable she is.
there's a reason for it.
Sure.
yeah.
That's generous, Molly.
That is generous. It's a long time spent with her just braiding her hair. There's exposition over it.
Yeah.
Sure, they do other things, but like,
I guess that's like Game of Thrones, right?
Yeah.
Like you do exposition while you do sexy stuff
Yeah.
and hope people pay attention.
Yeah.
Got it.
I mean, we were in the first half talking about how we wanted the movie to be hornier, right?
yeah.
And it was a very boring playtext, like white bra,
Yes,
which
it
I did
was.
appreciate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's got to be on the move,
She's got to be on the move. She does not have time. And I also appreciated she put her hair back, you know?
right?
Yep.
Come on.
She has so much hair,
Oh, she really does.
thick hair.
This is okay. This is going to come
Gorgeous
as a I don't want to like say anything completely controversial, but she's got a great head of hair. That
Oh
Julia
my God.
Roberts.
She does.
Wow.
She
And that
does.
smile.
$1
Oh,
million.
I don't remember how much we talked about this before, but I did look up her filmography very quickly.
Okay.
Mystic Pizza was, in fact, her breakout movie, followed quickly by Steel Magnolias, and then
The
a
other
bunch of
one-
other movies,
the
Okay.
one we watched.
and the one we watched too. But I think Pretty Woman
That's
was
what I'm talking
after
about.
this.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
wasn't
Oh.
it?
Oh, that surprises me. I always
Well-
thought Pretty Woman was like her
Early.
first blockbuster or whatever, like a Julia Roberts movie.
Oh, yeah, maybe it was. You know
I
what?
don't know.
Hey, peek behind my curtain. I don't have my reading glasses with me. So I was reading very fuzzy Wikipedia. So yeah, maybe not. But anyway, the point is I was read about Mystic Pizza.
Nice.
So she's always been she started out in dramas. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but she's good. Yeah, I think I had a conception of her as just rom-com lady.
Right.
Nope.
From, when I was...
Runaway Bride.
Yeah, that's like because I would have been 11 when this movie came out, so I wasn't seeing thrillers then.
You aren't super into the idea of like, oh, there's a Supreme Court justice conspiracy. Yeah, I'm in.
Yeah, but she's great.
She's great.
Yeah. So good.
She delivers. And now it's time for our final reviews of the movie we just watched, The Pelican Brief. Our rating scale, as we all remember, is Fourth Pelican Wing, which is the Pelican-based adaptation. Let's see. No.
What?
It is...
It's like a horny pelican.
It is the retelling of The Pelican Brief, inspired by the success of The Fourth Wing and Other Romantices.
And we are not in it.
We are not in it.
But
the characters are pelicans.
Yes.
Yes, okay. It's the yeah.
And they are horny.
And they are
Yes.
horny.
But we are reading the audiobook
We
version.
do the audiobook.
Exactly.
Nice.
Yes. And we get paid a lot.
Hell yeah, we do.
We got 80%. I believe we get 80% of
I
the
believe that is what we said. It's a sweetheart deal.
Yeah. Dan, you gave it 3. You thought it would be very watchable, and Molly likes it, so that could be good.
Yes, it was very watchable. It was, like I said, I was sort of surprised at how patient it was with itself because I was not expecting that, especially once I realized how much murder was in the movie. Yeah, I do feel like it succeeded on the charisma of its leads a lot. Like if it were anyone else in those roles, it might have been kind of a snooze because like it is a lot of just like those two trying to figure stuff out and then talking to each other about whether they figured it out or not.
Yeah.
And then every once in a while it just cuts to like one of the 8 white dudes in a suit to express their opinion on what's happening. Mm-hmm. And then like the president plays with his dog and that's the movie. Besides the deaths, but those are few and far between. But I did enjoy watching it. So I will give it a 4. Wing.
Thank you.
Fourth wing. What is it?
Fourth Pelican Wing.
Fourth. I will give it a 4th Pelican. 4th.
Are you okay?
I'm spiraling. 4.
Great. Good job.
Thank you so much.
Beth, you gave it a 4. You thought if it's better than The Firm, it's got to be pretty good.
Yeah.
Was it better than The Firm?
Oh yeah. Great credit.
Yeah, it was, I think. Okay, by the way, that reminds me, I looked up that Office quote, and Michael Scott attends a deposition, and the lawyer asks him, how long have you known the plaintiff? And he says, I've seen The Firm, and I plan on renting the Pelican Brief. Because he thinks the plaintiff is a movie.
Got it.
He doesn't know what that means.
Nice.
Anyway, so that's what I knew what the Pelican Brief was.
Solid joke.
Now that I've enjoyed this movie, I did enjoy it. Yeah, I thought it was really entertaining. And even though it was 2:20, I felt intrigued the whole time. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I'm going to also give it fourth Pelican Wing.
Flap, flap.
I'm Dan. I'm 3rd. I also predicted
Third.
4th. Thirsty Thirst. I was excited for a 90s thriller, and boy, did it deliver on that premise. And yeah, I agree with what you both said. It survives. Not survives. It excels in that Denzel Washington and Julia Roberts are very good, and it's patient and fun. I think it would be much worse without them, but it's great and it's long. So 4.
Great.
For Fourth Pelican Wing.
Fourth. Well, I'm 4th. Flap, flap.
Oh!
No flaps for me. Okay.
Oh, sorry. Flap, flap.
I got no flaps.
Flap, flap.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Flaps all around.
Flaps all around.
Molly, you thought it'd be fun? Mm-hmm. And you talked yourself up from a cowardly 4 to a reasonable 4.
Nice.
That's right.
I
Accurate.
think I talked it up a little bit.
Well, you helped.
Okay, you
I
helped
helped.
him.
Thank you.
Okay, but
Put on
I
your
was the-
gray suit and
Yeah, I was the Greg Grantham of talking it up to a reasonable.
yeah.
speaking of Greg Grantham, I think the other, just one last little point. So Denzel Washington is so magnetic in this movie. it makes it really plausible feeling to me why sources would come to him.
Absolutely.
And there are a couple times when he has people who are in unlikely positions who reach out to him. Oftentimes they're other Black men or just other people who feel like they can't. And he just does, man, the way he plays that, it is so good.
Yeah, that scene with that law student is perfect, where it's just this young Black man who just like, oh, hey, and he just helps him out because he happened to overhear him. And then Denzel just gives him this very like paternal like hand on the shoulder. And they just like lock eyes and acknowledge each other. And then
he's off.
He's
off running to pursue the leads.
Incredible.
Oh, incredible. Amazing. Anyway, all this to say, if I'm grading it against all movies I've ever seen, I would probably give us like a 4-ish, something like that. But I feel like this is a stellar, having watched a lot of 90s thrillers that are John Grisham related. I think this is the top one. And I'm going to boldly give it, I'm going to give it a 5.
Wow. A reasonable 5.
A reasonable
Best
5.
in class.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think it kind of is, though.
That's great.
And like, there wasn't a whole lot that made me cringe. Mostly I felt really good about it.
That's a great
true.
point.
That is a great point.
Yeah. That's not bad for 93.
I kept waiting to be like uncomfortable with a choice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just the passive casting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But no one's overtly terrible
Yeah.
in a way that they shouldn't be. Like the villains are terrible, but like
they're very good at being
we
terrible.
didn't even mention that John Lithgow's in this movie.
Oh,
he's so good.
What's his name?
Smith Keen.
Smith Keen.
He's the editor of the Washington Herald.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's great.
Yeah. I mean, going back to what you're just saying, like our 2 leads are not white men,
Yeah.
Oh, hey.
which is something.
That's
That is-
something.
hey.
93.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. 5.
Wow.
Sold. Flap, flap.
Flap,
Yeah.
flap.
So listen up, Gen Alpha. You aren't worth being the leads in a movie. It should
no.
only be not white men.
No. See, this is what I'm saying.
I don't know what you're saying. Just, hey, parents of alphas, just go check their YouTube history and tell them to stop watching some fucking asshole in a beanie cap or a Joe Rogan tattoo explaining to you how gender works, and get them to read a fucking book and we'll be fine.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like the 4th Pelican Wing. Or listen to a book on audio.
Hey,
Yeah. There you go.
flap, flap.
You can read with your eyes or with your ears.
Hey, audiobooks count as reading.
Yeah.
You heard it here first, let's say.
You got
else has
the
said that.
inside flap, flap from us.
What?
Oh,
What?
Like a book has a inside
Oh,
flap.
inside flap, flap.
Nice. Got it.
Yeah.
you could say that that's a type of kudos,
Oh, thank you, Beth.
which is Greek
Nailed it.
in origin. It means honor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it means like the highest possible honor, right? You were telling us it's like
Is that what I was telling you?
Yeah, it's something
I read
like
something out
the
loud.
most, it's like the greatest honor.
Honor, glory, or fame.
Yeah.
Glory sounds pretty high.
And now we're like,
Indeed.
have a granola bar.
Yeah.
And it's
I don't think that's what anyone means when they say kudos to you.
I think they do. I think they're like, I'm granola level happy for you.
But chocolate covered granola.
With
but
M&Ms,
it's not-
mini M&Ms.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the mini M&Ms.
Okay.
Sounds
Also,
great.
it's not plural. It's kudo, right?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, it can
Then
be.
they gave examples of sentences, and they just said kudo, and I was thrown.
But like, if you have the option of getting multiple
You
kudos,
might
like
as
it's
well.
way
Yeah.
exactly.
Costs you nothing to give more than
But
one.
it actually makes it's like saying, "Oh, you're 2 of the uniques." By
What?
making it plural, you make it less of a thing.
No one said it was unique. It's just honor and glory.
I know,
Yeah,
but honor
there's
and
enough for
glory
everybody.
indicate it's hard to get. It's not like just doing well on a project at work.
I feel like you have just had bad experiences receiving kudos.
I don't
Or
like-
you just don't like the granola bar.
I've
It's unclear to me what your
I've never
position
liked
is on
the
this.
bars, and I've never liked the word. It
don't like
makes
the
me
bars?
uncomfortable in a way I cannot explain.
Huh.
Wow. Is it like how some people don't like the word moist?
Yeah, it's right up there.
Really?
It's not as bad as glug glug, but it is like somewhere in that realm.
Ooh, quick peek behind my curtain that Dan will appreciate. As a reminder to each other to stay hydrated, my wife and I now will say glug glug to each other as we hold up a glass of water that we've chosen to drink.
All right.
So it's spreading.
Peek behind my curtain. I'm now putting some fiber in my water.
Oh.
Glug glug that.
Nice. What do you got, Benna? You got the Benny? Benny Fibes?
Do you have Metamucil?
No, that's got added sugar that I don't need.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
Wow, we are getting some real geriatric talk. Geriatric.
Psyllium fiber or something like that.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
It sounds more fun than it is.
Sometimes it doesn't taste good. Sometimes I'll put some electrolytes in there.
How much are you putting in that you can taste it at all?
A teaspoon in a 8-ounce glass.
Oh, man. Just put it in something else that already
And then
tastes
glug,
good.
glug.
I put it in coffee sometimes.
No, all right.
There you go.
But it changes the consistency so much. I feel like you just got to glug.
I guess
glug it
you and
down.
I have used different fiber supplements because I've never had an issue.
Wow. I will say, though, I do put a little collagen in my coffee in the morning.
What does that look like? It's just like a little
Just
vial?
a powder.
Oh,
What
it's
does
a
that do?
powder.
Vial.
Okay.
What does that do for you?
It helps with your cell structures.
Good for your skin, right?
It's supposed to be good for your skin. It's good for all of your cells.
Okay.
Okay.
And I'm gonna brag here for a second.
Please.
Okay.
Please
All
do.
right. Pregnancy talk, just so you know. I became pregnant at an older age, and I was very worried the entire time that
An Oregon
I would.
Trail pregnancy.
Oregon
That's what
Trail
you call it.
pregnancy, yes, exactly. And I was worried about the quality of my placenta because that can be a big problem for older.
Okay.
And poor placenta. Anyway, it's a problem. I found out though, y'all, I had a gorgeous placenta.
Oh, congratulations.
I mean,
Is there like a
beautiful.
scale? Do they like offer you a ranking?
Listen, the lady who managed my placenta, no big deal, was like,
Placenta
I
manager.
almost took a picture of it. It was so gorgeous.
That's amazing.
Wow.
So
I don't doubt that you are capable of producing a gorgeous placenta.
gorgeous
Molly.
placenta. Yeah.
I always get worried that medical professionals are kind of blowing smoke up your ass.
Sure.
Like, but you think she was legit?
Oh yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good.
Because she had no reason.
Right.
Like my expectations were very low. She
Yeah,
could
yeah.
have said it was fine.
Yeah. Don't worry about it.
The Anne
looks
Hathaway.
great.
It looks great. Yeah, but she was like, honestly, I
did
almost took a picture. I was like, I
extra
wish you
mile.
had.
So is this
It seems like a HIPAA
just real
violation.
quick because I'm a
Yeah.
dummy?
she's
this-
not like a medical professional.
Who?
This person who handled my placenta.
They're not?
Wait, what?
Oh, this is a much longer story we have time for on this
Did you
podcast.
sell it on the black market?
No.
I don't know.
This is the best placenta I've ever
That's
seen.
right.
I almost took a picture of it and sent it to everybody.
Get Kamel from
placenta
across the
porn.
sea to ship this placenta to
Only fans for placenta.
Oh my
Oh
God.
my God, that's
We are-
horrifying.
Okay, can I just real quick, because I'm a dummy.
We're
The
down a
reason
hole here.
this came up is because that's when you started taking collagen supplements to try to keep your placenta in a
No,
good shape.
I had started taking collagen supplements way before then, but
Okay.
I took it all the way through my pregnancy.
I see.
And
you
beyond.
and you just kept going. Kept
I just kept
pedal to the
going.
Are
metal.
you saying then that you are trying to give credit to the collagen for such a beautiful placenta?
Oh,
I'm just trying to figure out how we
Yeah.
got here.
No, that's fair.
Okay.
Listen, that's
Just
fair
wanted
on
to tell
many
someone
levels.
about it.
yeah.
You've been holding on to that
You've been
for
trying to
years.
find a way to
Like,
work
how
it
do I
in.
get this
Trying
into
to
the
work it in.
podcast? The listeners need to know about my gorgeous placenta.
Fiber is my way in. I can tell.
If anyone
Yeah.
ever mentions fiber,
Yeah, like you're at home
If
with
we
your
do
husband.
the
just like,
podcast
at
long
some
enough,
point,
someone will
at
talk
some
about how
point,
fun-
Dan's gonna be talking some old man shit about his digestion, and that'll be my end.
And the whole time I'm just knitting like a placenta replica. No. Okay. Little known fact. You can have your placenta processed if you want to. Yes. Some people
eat it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
find
what
it
is
has a lot of
processed?
nutrition.
is that what you
Well,
mean by processed? Afterward?
It can be. Yeah.
Do you
So
just mean like shipped to you, or
No,
what does that mean?
no. You
I mean,
have
you're
it. You
there.
give birth to
Does
it.
process just mean don't just throw it away? Is that all that means?
Well, that's a good start.
Okay.
A lot of people
a
just throw it
necessary
away.
step.
And I think if the nurse had her druthers, she would have just taken this
She would have
bucket. Because when
killed
she came over to show it to me, the look on her face was like, if you would like to look at this.
This is not the person who said it was
bloody
gorgeous.
blob in the butt. No, this is not the person who said it was
Oh.
gorgeous. She kind of shrugged
So this
and
is a
showed
fool
it to me.
then.
Yeah. Well, no, she's a medical professional, but this is not her bag. You know what
see.
I'm saying? Like, if
Yeah.
you're in a
She's
hospital
just the bucket
situation,
holder, not the
they're
placenta
not
judge.
into like the whole woo woo.
Yeah, because
like,
they want to
let's
get
save
done,
this.
right? They just want to get that shit done.
Want to get you sutured up and out so they can sew up somebody else.
Smoke a cig outside in
Yeah.
a weird little pod.
I guess. Anyway, here's the thing.
Molly doesn't respect nurses.
Yeah.
That's the main takeaway.
I think they're the
true at
heroes, the
all.
real heroes.
I also
really
think that.
are.
I bang my pans every night.
Oh God, I thought you were going to say something very different.
Molly!
Whoa,
I did too.
context. Thank you.
I forgot about banging pants. What a time we've lived through.
But now everything's smooth sailing from here, baby.
That's right.
It's 2025. A single scandal can take down an entire administration with one journalist working for newspaper of note that is owned by one of the 6 people who own all newspapers.
Yeah.
What were you saying about your placenta?
Yeah. Anyway, but no, you could have it like processed into different things. You can have it turned into pills or tinctures or whatever.
Oh, okay.
For use later if you want to.
Huh.
All digestive
Which I
uses?
did. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can't like make.
Which
You can't
I
like.
did because
like a
I felt
candle or
like
You can't compress it into like a jewel or something.
No, I mean, I suppose actually it's like 90% water, so you could probably do whatever you want. Anyway, the point is like, you should only hire someone who's trusted and does it a lot. This was a midwife.
Okay. A medical professional.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, the point is, no, I think she was a trainee.
Sorry,
it doesn't really
midwives.
matter. Here's the point. So you can do that if you want to.
Okay.
And I don't think it's the worst idea. And for me, I did it because I was like, this is a literal once in a lifetime opportunity for me. This is extremely unlikely to begin with. And I just wanted options.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what did you do with it?
I had it made into a tincture and into pills. And now I'm taking those pills.
Interesting. And what does that do for you?
It gives me a lot more energy.
Huh.
Yeah.
Huh.
Fascinating.
Yeah. Because peek behind my curtain. This is way too much curtain talk.
It was already too much. This is about the Pelican Brief.
Yeah. Not the placenta brief.
Okay. Well, that's plenty then. I think we're good.
We'll save the rest for our next.
Yeah.
For our next John Grisham movie.
Well, for the next time Dan brings up fiber.
Sure.
I mean, that'll probably happen pretty soon, right?
Next episode. Gotta stay regular.
Hey,
we're all 40 now?
I think we're all 40
I believe
now.
that is what we've decided.
Yeah.
Some of us are 40 extra.
No.
We're all 40.
We're all 40.
40. Okay. Great.
Okay.
Great. Some of us are just a little bit more 40.
All right.
Some of us are less 40.
Well, Molly, I just want to say kudos to you on your placenta.
Nailed it. We got her. Banner down. Take the banner. Bring the banner down.
Flap,
Mission
flap.
accomplished.
That's right.
Totes Recall is hosted by Molly Chase, Beth Gibbs, Dan DeQuette, and Dan Linden. Produced by Beth Gibbs. New episodes of Totes Recall drop on the 15th of every month. For more information and bonus content, visit us at totesrecall.com. Thank you so much for listening.